Welcome students. In the previous video, we discussed about the molecular basis of inheritance. And if you have any doubts, you can call me and you can text me and you can clarify your doubts. I will explain you again if you have any doubts in that chapter. And that chapter is very important with respect to NEET exam. They will ask tricky questions and the range of questions is from medium to tough range. So you have to clear all the concepts. What is a transcription? From which end to which end it will start and it will end? And what are the enzymes? And what is the direction of those enzymes? Helicase, which direction? RNA polymerase, which direction? So like that, the directions. And what are the sites? And what is the lagging strand? What is the leading strand? Why lagging strand is discontinuous? Like that. And what are the translations and what are the sites of ribosome in which the translation A site, P site, like that. And lag operon concept, which enzymes code, which genes codes which enzymes, and what is the importance of human genome project, and what is the DNA fingerprinting, like that. All these details you have to clarify the concepts. You have to be clear among the concepts. And now today onwards we will start a new chapter. This is human health and disease. In this chapter, in our NCERT text, based on our NCERT textbook, there is a brief only. We have to study in elaborate manner. That is my way of teaching, and I will provide you some more information which is not there in your textbook, and some concepts are there but cut and copy paste like that it is there. So we have to elaborate that concepts. Like for example, Plasmodium vivax. So what is the life cycle? Definitely they will ask in a elaborate manner, but in our textbook only this much is there. So it is not enough. So we will read in extensive manner, and we have to, before starting those parasites, what are the different types of parasites, and what is the life cycles of those parasites, and what are the different diseases caused by different parasites. We have to know first of all the definition of health and what is the differences between health and disease. So the definition which was given, the standard definition was a complete well-being in social, physical and mental. A human being which is completely means physically, mentally and socially a complete well-being, that state is known as health. The state of physical, mental, social well-being, the state of social, physical and mental well-being, that is health. And any change that causes discomfort among these three, that is disease. The normal state is health, physical, mental and social well-being, but any deviation from these three states, that leads to the disease. That is the definition of disease. Now normally we are healthy well-beings, and now what is the importance of the diseases? Due to corona, we are understanding what is the importance of the health, how we maintain our health in a good condition, what are the food habits we have to take, what are the precautions we have to take before eating food, like hand washing with a proper soap or proper liquids, and how much time we have to wash our hands, how much hygiene food we have to take, how to avoid oil or junk foods. So these are healthy habits. Now everyone is concentrated on that due to COVID. So before that also, so many diseases are there, so many lakhs of people died from 200 years. There are so many different diseases. So how these diseases are causing? What are the key factors responsible behind that? That is pathogen, which causes diseases. The organism which causes the disease, or the object which causes the disease, that is pathogen. So here we have to know a term that is parasitism. In that we have an interaction between parasite and host. So if the interaction between the parasite and the host, then it is the interaction is parasitism. And what are the factors present, elements present in the parasitism is parasite and host. Host means the organism which is providing the shelter. The organism which is providing the shelter and acts as a food resource, that is host. For example, this is a host. And the parasite, that means the organism which is living on the other organism and obtains food from that organism, that is parasite. So this is the host in which parasite is present. And this parasite takes food from the host and having shelter. So the parasitism means an interaction between two organisms in which one organism providing shelter and food to the another organism, and as a result of that, that organism is completely or adversely affected, because it is not taking shelter and taking food. In return, it is giving adverse effect to the host, that is causing disease to the host. So one is benefited, parasite is benefited by taking shelter and food, but the another one is losing food and giving the body to another parasite and causing by the disease. So it is affected. So one is benefited and another is adversely affected. So this interaction is parasitism. And in today's class, we have to know what are the different types of parasites, how they are classified, on what basis they are classified. So broadly, I will give you some list. This is very important. Examples are only 5 or 6 examples that will be rotated in each and every type. Okay, don't confuse about that. I will give limited examples, but that will be jumbled between the two different types. So carefully observe. So first of all, types of parasites. Types of parasites. So in that, so first one is ectoparasite. Ectoparasite. What is ectoparasite? Definition you can write. The parasite that lives on the surface of the body of an host. On the surface. For example, this is an organism. So here, on the surface of the body, it is not entering into the body of the host. So the parasite which lives on the surface of the body, that is ectoparasite. That is the definition. And example you can write. Head lice, that means small insects which are present on the head that will suck the blood. And itch mites, these are the parasites on humans. So this is the host and these are the parasites. And these are the parasites, ticks on dogs. So these are the host and this is the parasite, ectoparasites. Copepods on marine fishes. Copepods are the ectoparasites which lives on the surface of the marine fishes. And now, these are the ectoparasites that lives on the surface of the host. And the second one now, endoparasites. Endoparasites, that means the parasites which lives inside the body of a host. Inside the body of a host. So what it is? How many types are there? First of all, it is cytozoic. Cytozoic, that means intracellular. For example, This is the body, and these are the different cells in the body, and these parasites are present inside the cell. So that is intracellular or cytozoic parasites. They live within the host cells. This is host, and these are the host cells, and inside the host cells, this is the parasite. This is the parasite. So lives inside the host cells. And examples are very important. They may ask in matching type of questions. Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax in man. This is the parasite which is responsible for the causing of disease malaria. Nosema notabilis. Nosema notabilis. This is the parasite, cytozoic parasite, which lives in the organism Spirospora polymorpha. This is an organism, so it is lives in the organism. So these are the examples of cytozoic parasites. And the second one in the endoparasites, that is histozoic parasites. That means intracellular parasites. So what it is? See, these are the different cells, but in between the cells, if the parasite is present, this is intercellular, in between the cells, and this is inside the cell. So if it is like that, that is a histozoic parasite. If the parasite lies in between the cells, so that is intercellular. So what it is, and what are the examples of that? Wuchereria bancrofti. Wuchereria bancrofti in Wuchereria bancrofti and Entamoeba histolytica. These are the two parasites. Entamoeba histolytica will cause amoebiasis, and Wuchereria bancrofti causes filariasis or elephantiasis. And third one, coelozoic parasites. That means here these parasites are present within the cavities, that is in the alimentary canal, that is a cavity, and different types of cavities, and pleural cavity, pericardial cavity, like that in the cavities they are present. And if they are present in the alimentary canal, we can call it as a special name, that is enterozoic. Coelozoic means present in the cavities, but especially if it is called as enterozoic, that means it is present in the alimentary canal. So what are the example for that? Ascaris lumbricoides. This is the organism parasite which causes ascariasis. It is causing ascariasis. So we will see what is ascariasis, what are the symptoms, and what is the diagnosis method. Everything we will discuss. So this is about endoparasites. Three types: cytozoic, histozoic, and coelozoic. Cytozoic means that is present inside the cell, and histozoic means in between the cells, and the coelozoic means in the cavities. And in specific, if it is present in the alimentary canal, that we can call as enterozoic. And the examples for that is Ascaris lumbricoides. So this is about endoparasites. And now another special type of parasite, that is third one, hyperparasite. So what is hyperparasite? See here, this is the parasite which lives on the another parasite. Understanding? So for example, this is the host, and in the host one parasite is present. So this is normal, and inside this parasite another parasite is present. So this is known as hyperparasite. That means, see here, this parasite getting food from this one, and this parasite getting food from this one. So this is like this, hyperparasite. The parasite which lives in the another parasite. That means obviously parasite lives in the host. This parasite lives in the host, and another hyperparasite lives in the body of this parasite. This is the speciality here. So what is the example? Nosema notabilis. Nosema notabilis. See here, you have to observe why I am underlining. While writing the scientific name, we cannot write in the italics font. So we have to underline the generic name and the species name separately. So that's why where I am writing, everywhere I will underline. So this is the basic rule you have to follow if you are a science student. So Nosema notabilis lives in Spirospora polymorpha. Spirospora polymorpha, which lives in urinary bladder of toadfish. See here, this is the toadfish, and this is the urinary bladder of the toadfish. And in this urinary bladder, Spirospora polymorpha is there, and inside this parasite Nosema notabilis is present. So this is the location of the hyperparasite. And remember here, this Nosema notabilis is a nidosporan parasite, and this is also nidosporan, which belongs to phylum Nidaria. These two are belongs to same phylum, but one is lives in the another one. So this is the interaction. We have to. This is very important. They can ask in the exam. And fourth one, among the types of parasites, monogenetic parasites. Monogenetic parasite. Here it is also very important. The parasite which completes its life cycle in one host, total life cycle in one host, that is known as monogenetic parasite. Completes life cycle in only one host, that is monogenetic parasites. Examples are, see here, the same examples I will write here, but we have to observe the difference where I am writing the same example. Entamoeba histolytica. It completes its entire life cycle in the single host. And Ascaris lumbricoides. This is also completes its life cycle in the single host. And fifth one, digenetic parasite. Digenetic parasite. This means this parasite completes or requires two hosts to complete its life cycle, not a single host. It needs two minimum number of hosts. That is digenetic parasitism. So what are the examples for that? Plasmodium vivax, that malarial parasite. Plasmodium vivax. And next one, Wuchereria bancrofti. This is filarial parasite. So these two parasites needs two different hosts to complete its life cycle. So what are the two different phases? Sexual phase and asexual phase. Sexual phase will be in one host, asexual phase will be in the another host. So what are those? That is again one classification. We will see that. So clear still here, monogenetic and digenetic parasites. And now here this is with respect to types of parasites: ectoparasite, endoparasite, hyperparasite, monogenetic and digenetic parasites. And in the endoparasites we have cytozoic, histozoic and coelozoic. So now we will see types of hosts. So what are the different hosts which can harbor or which can provide shelter for the parasites? Broadly, there are three types of hosts. First one is primary host or definitive host. Primary host or definitive host. That means the host in which the parasite completes its sexual stages. Carefully note down the definition. The host in which the parasite completes its sexual stages. That is primary host or definitive host. So the host in which the sexual stages of parasites are present, sexual stages of parasites, that is primary host or definitive host. See here, somewhat a criticality is there. So here the man acts as a primary host for Wuchereria bancrofti. Wuchereria bancrofti. See here. And female Culex mosquito acts as an primary host for Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax. See here, and the second one here, that is secondary host or intermediate host. Intermediate host. See, this is very important. They may ask in the NEET final examination. So here asexual stages will be there. Asexual stages of parasites will be there. Asexual stages of parasites will be there. So here we have to carefully observe the difference. See here, man acts as a secondary host for the Plasmodium vivax. Man acts as a secondary host for the Plasmodium vivax. But here, female Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles mosquito for the Plasmodium vivax. And here, female Culex mosquito for Wuchereria bancrofti. See here difference. For Wuchereria bancrofti, the man acts as a primary host. And for Plasmodium vivax, the man acts as a secondary host. And for the Plasmodium vivax, the female Anopheles mosquito acts as a primary host. But in the case of Wuchereria bancrofti, female Culex mosquito acts as a secondary host. They may shuffle each and everything and they will ask in the question. Don't confuse. If you remember only one thing, you can identify. For example, if you observe, man acts as a secondary host for Plasmodium vivax. That means oppositely, we can design man acts as a primary host for secondary host for female Plasmodium vivax, and man acts as a primary host for Wuchereria bancrofti. Opposite, only two parasites we have, Plasmodium vivax and Wuchereria bancrofti. And if you know this, automatically you can study this one. And if you know this opposite, this one, very simple, no need to confuse. And the third type of host is reservoir host. Reservoir host. That means here, when any of the two hosts are not available, that parasite takes some rest in the another type of host. That is reservoir host. When these two hosts, that is here man or female Culex mosquito, or here the female Anopheles mosquito, or here man, if these are not available, then the parasite will take rest in the reservoir host. What is reservoir? It stores the water. Like that here, it stores the parasite. And here, the host does not affected by any disease by the parasite. This is the main here. But here, any disease will be caused by the parasite to the host. But here, the host, this reservoir host, will not be affected by the any disease caused by the parasite. So here examples we can take. Monkey acts as reservoir host in the case of Plasmodium vivax. And African antelope, a deer-like animal, African antelope acts as an reservoir host for Trypanosoma gambians. Trypanosoma gambians. It causes the disease, that is African sleeping sickness. African sleeping sickness. So when the hosts are not available, these parasites will come and takes rest in these hosts. For example, for Plasmodium vivax, monkey is a reservoir host, and for Trypanosoma gambians, African antelope is a reservoir host. These are the different examples, and these are very, very important for the final exam point of view. So you have to read all these things and you have to make a notes which will be in simplified manner. And here, and the last topic for this day, that is types of vectors. Types of vectors. What is a vector? So parasites we finished, hosts we finished. Now types of vectors. So what are the vector? Vector is an animal. Vector is an animal which is helpful for transferring of parasite from one place to another place. For example, you can take entamoeba. Entamoeba. Entamoeba is which causes amoebiasis. That means gum motions with severe abdominal pain. The disease, amoebiasis. So how it will come? Entamoeba is a parasite like this. And it travels from one person to one person through open defecation. If a person goes outside for the defecation, this is the fecal matter and the parasites are present in the fecus material. Now the flies will come here and land on that fecal matter. When landing, this Entamoeba histolytica parasites attach to the legs of the flies. And when the same fly comes, and here this is a lake or a tank, a pond, and here this is a market, and here in the plate we have different sweets and different food materials, vegetables, everything. So then these flies will come and laid on here and laid on the food materials. If you eat directly, the same amoebiasis will enter into the another healthy being. So here the fly acts as a vector for transferring of parasite from one person to another person. So this is the type of, this is called as vectors. And there are different types of vectors. So what are those? We will see now. Mechanical vector, first one. Mechanical vector. In this, it will transfer the parasite, no doubt, from one place to one host to another host the parasite will be transferred by these mechanical vectors. But while transferring, no development of the parasite takes place. See here, it will transfer obviously, that is a vector, but no parasitic development. No parasitic development takes place in these vectors. So we have different examples: houseflies, cockroaches, very dangerous. Cockroaches in the case of Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica. So this is the parasite, and this acts as a vectors for transferring. So while transferring, no development of these parasites take place. So that is mechanical vector. And the second one is biological vector. Biological vector. Here, while transferring, the development of parasite takes place. Development of parasite takes place. So this is the difference between mechanical vector and biological vector. So what are the examples for that? Female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito in the case of Plasmodium vivax, and female Culex mosquito acts as a biological vector in case of Wuchereria bancrofti. So these are the different types of vectors which helpful for the transferring of parasites from one place to one place, and transferring of parasites from one host to another host. For example, mosquito will bite a person and sucks the blood, and through that blood different stages of Plasmodium vivax parasite will enter into the mosquito. And if the mosquito bites the another person, healthy person, the same parasite will enter into the healthy person. And here, during that transfer, some development takes place inside the mosquitoes, like in the case of female Culex mosquito and in the case of female Anopheles mosquito also. But here only transfer, no development of parasite. So these are the different types of parasites, different types of hosts, and different types of vectors. So these are very important, and we have to know about that. And in the next video, we will discuss about parasitic adaptations. That means, what are the adaptations that will adopted, what are the modifications that has to adopted by the parasite which enters into the host. Because if parasite enters into the host body will also develop some mechanism, defense mechanism. So to survive and to protect against those defense mechanisms, this parasite automatically develops some anti-defense mechanism. So like example, if a country is deployed some missiles against a country, that is, that protects the missiles are launched against a country, and this country also develop anti-missile technology to fight against those missiles, like that. So what are the adaptations of the parasites? We will see. And what are the effects? What are the effects if the parasite enters into the host? So these topics we will discuss in the next video. So make a notes of these and make a short notes also, and which will be easier for the revision purpose, because these are the difficult jumbling system is there here. One example for one type, and again the same example for the another type. So all this you can write at same place, and it is easy for the revision. So if you have any doubts, you can text me and you can call me and you can clarify your doubts at any time. Thank you.